textual variants in 1 John 1:4. As the text reads, it says, "And we write these things in order that our joy may be full," or may be complete. Notice the superscript 1 by the word hemes and the superscript 2 by the word hemon. This is where we're going to have text critical variants. So what you do is you follow the superscript 1 to the bottom of the page, and you see the superscript 1 with the bold 4, tells you you're in verse 4. You look back up and see that you are in verse 4 in the text, and you know you're in the right place. The capital letter B in the squiggly brackets indicates the grade for the reading in the text. This is the reading hemes, which is the we pronoun. We write, underline we. They are reasonably confident that this is the correct reading. A is high, D is low, so B is pretty confident. And the evidence ends when you see this double slash. Then we have the next word that's the next textual reading, human. So in place of hemes, some manuscripts have human. And human is the dative pronoun, so this would be to you. So the question is, do we have the pronoun intensifying the subject, we write these things, or do we have a dative pronoun that will serve as the indirect object, we write these things, human, to you? Now follow human all the way to the end until you see a double slash, and we don't see another one, so we know that there's not another reading after human. So we're dealing with hemes or human. UBS will present the evidence in the same order every single time. Right after the variant, if there are any papyri manuscripts, they will list them. We don't see any here, so they move on to capital letter manuscripts, going from this Hebrew letter Aleph all the way to the capital Psi. These are capital letter manuscripts. These are called Uncials. Then we'll go to lowercase manuscripts called Minuscules. The 33 is a lowercase manuscript. If you have a number and it doesn't begin with a 0, then it's a lowercase manuscript. Then we're going to move into translations. Here the IT is for Latin, COP is for Coptic. And then after that we would go to church fathers. Back to the word hemes at the beginning. Then you see Aleph. This is a particular manuscript. Capital A is a particular manuscript. And you see the star. The star means the original hand. In other words, there was a corrector who had something different on that manuscript. The star is what the original had. Then the corrector will be a C. So look over here to human. You see capital A with the little c, the superscript C. This means that the corrector wrote human, whereas the original hand wrote hemes. And we see the word vid, which means it appears. So it appears that the original hand had the reading hemes. Then we have B, P, Psi, and that's where the capital letter manuscripts end. Then the lowercase manuscript is 33. Then the Latin with a particular manuscript, the Z, and again we have the star, so the original hand of that manuscript. Then Coptic, Sahidic, particular versions, according to certain manuscripts. So that's all the evidence for hemes. Human, we have no papyri manuscripts, so we go into capital letter manuscripts. We have capital letter A, according to the corrector. Then we have capital letter C, and that's all the capital letter manuscripts we have. Then the lowercase manuscripts are from 5 all the way to the number 2344. All of those are lowercase manuscripts. After that you see the word biz, which represents the Byzantine text. They're not going to list all of the Byzantine manuscripts. They're just going to tell you that the Byzantine tradition as a whole supports it. In particular, we'll have K and L as representing the Byzantine type. If you go back up to the first reading, Hemes, you'll see that capital letter P. Some people view this manuscript as Byzantine, and so you will often see it in the brackets, but here it goes in a different direction than these other texts. After the brackets, we see lect. This refers to lectionaries. They're supporting this reading. And then we have the versions, starting with IT. This is the Latin, Itala. Then particular manuscripts there, AR and T. VG for Vulgate, a particular Latin translation. Then Syriac, some particular Syriac manuscripts. Coptic, Armenian, Ethiopic, Georgian, Slavonic. And then we've moved into Church Fathers, and Augustine supports this reading. And finally, in UBS5, they've added something new, contemporary Bibles which adopt these readings. And so the contemporary translation BJ and TOB. BJ is the Jerusalem Bible, and TOB is a French edition. The second textual issue in this verse is Hamon, with the superscript 2, or Humon. This is a difference in the pronoun. Is it our joy, or is it your joy? Now notice that there is a diamond by this reading in the text. In UBS5, the diamond indicates an extreme difficulty in deciding between two different readings. Interestingly, in UBS4 they went with the other reading, Humon, but in 5 they're going with Hamon. So here's where the evidence ends for the reading in the text, Hamon, with these double slashes. And then here is the evidence for Humon, and you see the diamond again right here. So on Hamon, we don't have any papyri manuscripts, but then here are the capital letter manuscripts, the Uncials, from Sinaiticus, Aleph, to the Psi. Then 436 is our first minuscule, the lowercase, so is 1175. Then we have part of the Byzantine tradition, represented by capital letter manuscript L. Then the lectionary tradition, then some Latin manuscripts, some manuscripts of the Vulgate, some Syriac, some Coptic, some Georgian, and some Slavonic. Now the evidence for Humon, we have no papyri manuscripts. The first manuscript is capital letter A, so A and C are capital letter manuscripts. Then the number 5 all the way through 2344, these are lowercase manuscripts. Then we have part of the Byzantine tradition, represented by K and P. Then we have some lectionary readings, some particular lectionaries, lectionary 422, lectionary 598, 938, and 1021. This is Vulgate, a particular Vulgate manuscript, Syriac, Coptic, Armenian, Ethiopic, Slavonic, then to Church Fathers, Augustine, and Bede.